Hey, it's Willie.
Hey, hey, Willie. How you doing?
Doing pretty good.
Where are you calling in from?
I'm calling in from Washington State.
Ooh.
I drove to Montana last week, and oh geez, from about Coeur d'Alene to just outside of St. Regis, endless construction on Interstate 90.
Yeah.
In both directions.
It's that time of year, isn't it, Charlie?
It is road construction season, my
Charlie,
guy.
tell me about the four seasons the
yes,
Midwest has.
Of course, you've got fall, you got winter, you got spring, and you got road construction season. And sometimes it bleeds into those other seasons depending on the weather. And it is a tough one. It's a tough go. But hey, those potholes are not going to fill themselves. All right. So, you complain about one, you get the other. It's just how it goes.
Very, very true. Yeah.
Those beautiful orange flowers are in full bloom, my guy. So the question is, what do you do when you're in that construction zone?
I try and just go the speed limit the best I can. And it's a little bit anxiety inducing when you have the teeny little orange cones and you have semi-trucks coming at you to run the other direction, because they closed down the eastbound lanes, both eastbound lanes of I-90 in Idaho. So the eastbound traffic is going in the westbound lane, and then the westbound traffic's going in the right lane. And this happened in both directions in Idaho. And oh, geez, it's hard not to look at the scenery, because Interstate 90 through Idaho and Montana, it's
beautiful.
One of the most beautiful things you'll ever see.
And you got those white knuckles going.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, you kind of, you got nothing left to do but pay attention to the road in those scenarios. And, just hope that everybody else is also paying attention to the road, because one mistake, one veer to the left or to the right, and oh no, then you got some bigger issues. You got an insurance situation on your hands. But what is your question specifically with all of this traffic?
My question is, what could I do to sort of de-stress while I'm going down the road and while I'm waiting? Because that's the other thing. As soon as I got off of the highway and I went up through St. Regis, there was at the very end of 135, when you turn left onto 200 to go towards Kalispell, there was a guy in the neon vest with the slow stop sign. And that thing was at the stop sign pointed towards me for about 30 minutes. I was sitting in the same spot for 30 whole minutes.
You got to be kidding me. Do you have a deck of cards?
I wasn't. I should have. My cousin was texting me like, hey, what's your ETA on getting here? I'm going to order pizza. I'm like, I'm not sure. This construction guy's been at his sign pointed to stop for about a half hour now, so I honestly don't know when I'm going to get there.
Yeah, you were about to order pizza to that spot,
Yeah, it would have been nice and toasty warm, since my car doesn't have air conditioning.
Oh, geez, all you had were the windows to keep you cool? Do those at least work?
Yep, the windows and this little neck fan I got for my birthday that actually works really well.
Oh, did you get a nice neck fan?
Mm-hmm.
What kind?
Worked very well in the 90-degree Montana sun.
Yeah. Does that plug right into the cigarette lighter then?
No, it's just a rechargeable thing that you use through a USB-C, and then it lasts about 5 or 6 hours. It was.
Where can a guy find a good neck fan these days?
Yeah.
Probably Amazon or something like that.
Sure. We'll have to look for one of those.
If you have an old Honda Civic like I do, and it doesn't have air conditioning, that's your best choice, probably.
Well, we actually have a guy who has a blue Honda CRV with 130,000 miles on it, and the AC works about 75% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Would you be in the market to buy $3,000 OBO or best offer?
Yeah.
Does that interest you at all?
I just thought the Civic. We had an old Honda van for about 21 years, and then we used to live around Cleveland, Ohio, and the rust just ate that thing up.
Yeah.
So
the salt on the roads, it'll do that.
Lake
but
Erie coming off the lake.
Still 21 years, though. I mean, congratulations.
So 21 years and 211,000 miles we got out of that Odyssey. It was a workhorse.
And how did it finally go, that Odyssey?
Well, I was driving to work one day.
Oh.
The check engine light came on, and I was like, oh, shoot. And then the traction control light came on, and I was like, oh, no. So I got home. I plugged the little scanner thing into it, and it said, the code is a knock sensor. And I went to my dad, and he's like, oh, shoot, not again. Because I guess what that meant is that somehow, some way, somewhere where I parked it when I was out in the public somewhere, rodents had found their way into the engine, and the car was clean as a whistle, but somehow rodents had found their way into the engine, chewed the knock sensor wires, and my mechanic was like, it's going to be $3,000 to fix this.
Oof. Yeah, no.
Oh, no.
No. Well, you rode it for 200,000 God-loving miles, and you did good.
I grew up in that van.
Did you?
It's tough. You guys didn't have a home and you lived out of the van, or?
No. We just my folks bought that van when I was 6 months old, and I'm now 22, and that's really the vehicle that's been around my entire life. We moved us from Cleveland to Washington, and
you are 22 years old.
Yeah.
How old did you think he was, Charlie?
You sound about 73.
I had you no younger than 60 years old. And that's a compliment. You sound like an old soul, but you could knock me over with a feather right now that you are 22 years old.
Yeah. Yeah, you got that Joe Pera thing going for you right now. It's good.
Yeah, my cousin actually, who lives in Texas, my cousin-in-law, he was actually just up in Marquette, Michigan, and he told me I should watch that show on HBO Max, Joe Pera Talks with You.
Yeah.
And I've been watching a little bit of it. I like it.
Yeah. Do you notice any similarities in your patterns of communication?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I even, I was out visiting my family. I was, hanging out with one of my first cousins, and I got him into your two's videos. He loves them.
Hell yeah. So you had brought up, a way to de-stress on the road. Considering how we thought you were maybe 60 years old, I think a good way to de-stress on the road is just listen to the Midwest Survival Guide on the audiobook. Charlie's audiobook.
And thank you, Miles, for that plug. I do appreciate it. That should give you at least 9 hours, depending on what speed you're listening to it at. Miles usually listens to it at 20x. But I will say, I think I see a business opportunity here, Miles.
Okay.
Here's what I think. Willie, I want you to get your nearest dictionary, and I want you to just read it, the whole thing, and I want you to record it. And I think that would be one of the most soothing things for anybody in traffic to listen to, and I think it could solve the road rage problem in America today. And I think they would just sell like hotcakes. Do you have?
You do have a very nice voice.
You really do. Yeah. Could you just pull up any news article and just read it to us just for a little bit?
Yeah, my computer right here.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, that was about 9 hours of driving I did over the course of last Monday. But oh man, it was all worth it. Montana is one of the most beautiful states I've ever been to.
Keep talking, Willie. Why is it so beautiful, man?
Oh, you have the mountains all around you, and as soon as you exit the Lolo Pass, you enter just into all these flatlands, and then you see Flathead Lake, and it is just the most beautiful thing you've
And describe
ever
Flathead
seen.
Lake. Describe that for us.
Flathead Lake, oh, it's really clean. I got to swim in it on last Wednesday. And starts out, you're on the shore, you know, you have all your stuff laying in your baggie. You walk out to the lake, and there's these you should be wearing like shower shoes or some sort of swim shoes, because the rocks are really jagged and they'll kind of hurt your feet. But once that's all done, you get to the really nice, soft and squishy sand, and it's actually really shallow up for about a quarter mile or so. And once you're done with that, you sort of start getting into the deeper part of the lake. But just all around you or the mountains, if you hit Flathead Lake, you're about 45 minutes to an hour drive from Glacier National Park. And oh man, there are so many opportunities in that whole area. I mean, I did archery for the first time in about 10 years, and my cousin said I did great, which is good to hear. But
what's your cousin's name, Willie?
Parker.
And I tell you what, Willie, you just need to start a podcast, and here's how it's going to de-stress you while you're in road construction and how you're going to de-stress other people in road construction. It's about, the podcast is centered around living in the present moment, Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to drive and you're just going to describe what you see, how you feel, just like what you did with us with the Flathead Lake. And I tell you what, I couldn't be more relaxed right now.
Oh, me
what about
either.
you? That was very pleasant.
I don't know how I'm going to finish the next podcast we got to record. I'm just ready to kick back and relax next to a fire. And Willie, play us out. Where are you right now?
I am sitting at home with just the radio next to me and my computer, and I think the cat might be downstairs.
Well, why don't you take a gander out the window and describe what you see? And this is all the listeners listening, just take this moment, just look around and live in the present moment. What do you see, Willie?
Let's see. Oh, that's the wrong side of the blinds. There we go. Yep, there are the maple trees and the tulip poplars are getting their summer bloom going in. There are the Cascade Mountains way off in the distance. There's a guy that almost ran a stop sign, but he fortunately stopped in time. There's some people out walking. Don't have a dog or anything, but I'm sure it's a nice enough day that any dog or any cat would love to be outside. And it's a beautiful sunny day, about 85 degrees. Forecast calls for more of that. And there's an elementary school with the U.S. flag and the Washington state flag and a baseball field. And then you have the driveway. You have my old Honda Civic and the garage that's full of router tables and power tools that haven't been used in a long time.
I love it. Willie, that was
poetic.
You know, I think we may have found a new segment on this podcast.
I think so. Willie, free Willie.
Yeah. Free your mind and listen to Willie.
Willie talks.
Yeah.
And we'll find it. We'll find it. Yeah. Well, Willie, we're gonna save your number here. We might have to give you a call back and have this be a little recurring segment here on the Bellied Up podcast.
Very nice. Yeah. I am all blissed out. You know, that trip last week was just what I needed. It's gotten rid of all the anxiety and stress that I had when I left.
That's awesome.
So I'm really turning over a new leaf, I think.
I love it.
You're turning over our leaves, and I don't mean that as a weird innuendo, Willie. Thank you for servicing us here on the Bellied Up podcast. And Willie, you have yourself a good day, okay? And I want to let you know that that Honda minivan still thinks about you.
I still see it every day. I sold it to my mechanic, and they're going to fix it up and use it as a loaner.
Okay, smart.
Service to others. I love it, Willie. Well, you have yourself a good one, my guy.
And watch out for construction workers on the road.
Yeah. Keep your eyes on the lines, my guy. We'll see you next time.
Thanks. Watch for does and deer.
Yes. You too, Willie. You too.